Being a pro bodybuilder really helped me in business and helped me to be able to think long-term and plan way better. The coolest parts about being a bodybuilder is that you literally spend 6 months of the year hating your life. Like I would do long preps, so I'd prep anywhere from 12 weeks up to 6 months, that sort of time. And in those 12 weeks to 6 months, like I was belting my body into submission. I had a phenomenal coach, a guy by the name of Rawdon Dubois. And I love this dude to death, and he taught me so much, and I've got an immense amount of gratitude for him because of how much he actually taught me, not just in the ways of bodybuilding, getting me jacked and shredded, but in the ways of like how you do life and how you approach things. And the thing that I got from him was this work ethic, like a really relentless work ethic. Like as I said in some of my earlier videos, I'm not that talented. Like I'm not that genetically gifted. I'm not that quick, I'm not that big. I'm not that lean. I'm not that strong. I'm not that smart. I don't have any of that stuff. But I've always prided myself on being the hardest worker by far. And no one will outwork me. And one of the things that I got from bodybuilding was that, is because I knew that when I was competing, I competed in the IFBB, and I was natty for a long time. It was interesting. I didn't touch steroids until after I stopped competing in bodybuilding. But I was natural, and I was competing against all these guys who are like 10, 15 years older than me, and they weren't natural. And a lot of them were running like a load of gear. And I kept coming out on top and kept winning and ended up doing like quite well to the point where I became a pro, and I competed all over the world in bodybuilding. But how bodybuilding actually helped me and shaped me for business was really fucking cool. So first of all, the work ethic and the hustle was there. For guys in my industry, in the fitness industry, if you want to go from 0 to 6 figures, even really to 7 figures, you got to have hustle, and you've got to be able to work hard, put in the hours, get done, and you need to be intrinsically motivated, like so that you don't have rewards just coming at you left, right, and center. The fitness industry and the health industry is pretty competitive, so it takes a little while to get your business up and going. And so both the hustle, but also this other thing called reward delay. And a lot of people forget how important this is. Reward delay is the concept around if you are working for something, working towards a goal, you can be working towards it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years before you actually achieve that goal, but still be okay with doing it. I mean, if you look at a lot of people who are around today, most people are, no offense, and I'm going to say why I feel this is. It's because they need a reward, they need a pat on the back every single time they do something small. I mean, if you look at a lot of people in my generation, the generation above, generation below, it's like day one out of college and uni, we want to go and be CEO. And we want to own the company. We don't want to earn our stripes. We don't want to work hard. And bodybuilding literally beat the shit out of me with that. And it made it so that I had to learn that if I wanted to be number one, if I wanted to be the best, I got to put in 6 months into a prep. And I've got to do that over the course of 5 years if I actually want to get anywhere. It really took me the best part of like 3 years of hardcore 24/7, 365 training, dieting, living and breathing it before I ended up getting like the pinnacle of my goal and really reaching the peak of my career. And learning that your rewards you have to take time, you have to work for your rewards was like the best lesson ever. Because if we look in business and how that translates, your business will take a long time. I mean, if we look in business is a game which is played over 30 years. And a lot of guys want to go from 0 to $1 million within a couple of months. They're the ones who always fail. But the guys who are willing to put in consistent effort over time and not take big paychecks out of the company, they don't buy a Porsche, they don't go and buy a fancy house, they don't buy Louis Vuitton. They just go through and continually grind and get their business up and up and up. And they win over the course of 3-5 years. Like they're the dudes who actually succeed, the ones who can push off all those things which will take energy out of the business, taking money out of the business and pushing off all those rewards. The next thing it taught me was distractions and what's actually good for me and what's not good for me. So when I started bodybuilding, like I started quite young. I was 18 when I actually started and I first started competing. So I was very fresh. And at the time I was at uni and college. And so when I first went to university and first went to college, like I loved it because funny story about how I got into bodybuilding. I got into bodybuilding because I got alcohol poisoning, right? So I couldn't like go out and party because I had alcohol poisoning. My liver was fucked. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go get jacked. And so because of that, I decided like I love partying. Like I love doing it. I had a brilliant time partying. But when I wanted to go hard in bodybuilding, like I had to push that aside. And going into bodybuilding and having such a clear vision and clear purpose, clear direction on what I needed to do, thanks to the mentors, thanks to Rawdon, thanks to Jess, thanks to the people who are around me, it allowed me to really focus and cut out all the negative I want negative stuff, but stuff which was a distraction. So in terms of going out, such things like, at school when I was at college, all the boys loved watching Jersey Shore, I think it was, or Geordie Shore, playing computer games, doing all that stuff which saps your time. Bodybuilding made me not get involved with that and just focus relentlessly. And so because of this, I think that I got a couple of edges forwards in business because I didn't value these distractions. I don't value drinking. I don't value drugs. I don't value doing any of that sort of stuff because it's going to take me away from reaching my true purpose and from what I want to do. And for that, I'm forever thankful for bodybuilding because it's made it so that I can put more of my effort and more of my intensity into business. I put it to you this way. I had this way explained to me, and I think it's the best way of thinking of it ever. In life, you have a theoretical 10 units of attention, 10 units of energy, 10 units of focus that you can put into anything, right? So we just got 10. Now, if you've got one person who's putting 3 units into partying, 3 units into working, and 3 units into, bodybuilding, for example. And then you got another guy who's putting 10 units into bodybuilding, 10 units of intense focus and energy just into bodybuilding. Who do you think is going to win? The dude with 10 every single time. Now let's go through and do the same with business. You got one guy who's putting 2 units into driving his Porsche or his Bentley, his Beamer, or whatever he's doing. He's got another 3 units into party. He's got another 2 units into just doing cocaine because he loves it and he's got the money for it and he puts the rest into business. And you've got one guy who is relentlessly putting all 10 units into business. Who's going to win? The guy with 10 units every single time. And that lesson that bodybuilding taught me is that the more that you put in, the more focus, the more attention, the more distractions you get rid of, the better you'll do, has served me ridiculously well in business because I've been able to be more productive. I've been able to get rid of distractions. One of the things that we really underestimate is how much distractions take away from us. We look at things like, spending time on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, doing all this sort of stuff, watching things that aren't informative, and are not going to make us better, just scrolling through, watching mindless crap on there. We really underestimate how much that actually takes away from us. And here's why. It's because if you're in the middle of something, you need to focus. You need to put time onto that task if you want to be successful, be it in your marketing, be it in your sales, be it in your product, your delivery, your team building, your hiring, all that sort of stuff. One of the things that I'm doing at the moment is hiring. We're hiring a lot of people because a lot of guys want to work with us because we have a awesome product. And so I've got to put all my focus onto that. If every 5 minutes I'm going and scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Facebook, it's hard for me to get momentum up so they can actually do what I need to do in hiring. And so the more pinpoint down we can be, the less distractions we can have, the more focused that we can be, the better we will be in business and the better we'll be in life in general. You can apply this to anything as well. This isn't just for business. Business is an example because I love business. I love what I do. I love coaching guys in business. But this is the same thing when it comes to anything in your life. If you want to be an amazing dad, put 10 units into being a great dad. If you want to be an amazing husband, amazing wife, you want to be an amazing partner, put 10 units of energy and focus into that. If you want to be amazing, if you want to be the best at what you want to do, we want to make sure that we put most of our focus in there and prioritize the things that are truly important to us. Because when we do put more focus in and we get rid of crap, which isn't important to us, if we get rid of, let's say, drinking, if that's not important to you, let's say we get rid of drugs, get rid of social media and scrolling through mindless crap and just consuming rubbish, which isn't actually going to be helpful for us. When we push all of that stuff to the side and we get rid of those distractions and we focus purely on the things that matter to us, and for most of us, the things that matter to us are, well, for me, it's my relationship with Soph, my family, making sure that I have good connection time with friends and people who I love talking with, making sure that I dominate in work and making sure that I'm getting strong as Olympic lifting right now so I can, lift 340 kilo total. That's where all of my energy goes to. There is no energy outside of that which is being spent, and it's allowing me to progress at a really great rate. If we go through and we attack life like this, we'll be far more successful and far happier. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. This is how bodybuilding helped me out, and I hope that maybe you can learn one or two of the things which benefited me, because I would love to see you dominate too. Speak to you soon, guys.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of it and you want to learn more, click the link below or type in High Performance Conversations with James Can and you'll be able to check out all the podcasts that we've done. We cover a stack of different topics, everything from getting your mojo back, overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, self-esteem, and learning from some of the industries and some of the world's top performers in both business and in health. Look forward to having you on there.